And we're live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Thursday live stream. We are a little discombobulated because we had an audio issue here and didn't get to set all our settings quite the way we wanted to before we got started. Mostly because I was distracted and watching Texas Toast for too long and forgot to check stuff. That's pretty much what happens. Anyway, welcome to our live stream. This is an ad-free live stream as usual. So if you want to support the channel, you can use a super chat to ask a question. We will have Patreon members who also support the channel be asking some questions. If you don't want to do that and you just want to take a chance, put a bunch of question marks in front of your question and maybe Leslie will try to catch it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And you can use the links in the description to support the channel. You can share a video, you can subscribe, or you could just watch because that doesn't cost you anything either. One thing I want to tell you is this weekend, DylanTalksTone.com and our Saturday drop is going to have a bunch of P90s so that we've never done before. So keep an eye out for that stuff. And this just in. Over the next couple of days, I'm going to be working on a section that is going to be pickup covers only. So we've had a lot of requests for custom pickup covers without pickups in them. So we're going to try it and see if anybody buys them. I am not responsible for how you use them. My name will not be on them, etc. But if you want a custom P90 cover with camouflage or any of the patterns that we're doing, you'll be able to buy them. Same thing with the humbucker covers. Same thing with the Telecaster neck pickups. But, you know, it's going to be a use at your own risk sort of deal. And they're going to be, you know, priced accordingly. So we're gonna figure that out over the next few weeks because we've had a few people ask us about that too. So, and then in the off-topic hour, we have some really big news as well too that we'll share with you in the off-topic hour also. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. We don't have very many questions in Patreon tonight, so we've got a few, but.
Is that where you want to start?
Yeah, let's start there.
Close this window.
Which one?
This one.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you can close that one.
Okay.
Go for it. I'm going to pour me some Blanton's.
Josh Hawks. Is there someplace we can go to see all the different colors and patterns that you could potentially make a top for the pickups?
No, because that's kind of the point. The idea is that you come and check the website. And if we're making something that you like, then you buy it. But you have to buy it right then because we don't know how long we're going to be making it for. Because a lot of that stuff is very limited in its availability. Sometimes I go to order those materials again from my suppliers where I get that stuff and they don't have it. Or they don't have it in the right thickness or they don't have it, you know. So yeah, that's really kind of up to chance. And that's kind of, to me, what makes it fun, right? And it helps me to be creative. So, but you just got to stay on top of it. I ordered some material yesterday that is going to blow your mind because I know for sure that I'm the only one ever to do this with a guitar pickup.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a big statement.
Oh no, I know. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I hope it works.
Rob F. Hello, Leslie and Dylan. Originally, I didn't have a question. My afternoon practice changed that. Dylan, have you ever played a DAF into a fuzz face circuit? A truly wonderful sound everyone should experience.
Yes, I have. And I just did it the other day when I was making the video. I didn't use it in the video, but I did do that. Yep. That's awesome. Low output pickups, man. That's the way that works.
67 Goat. Are you aware the DTT website pages are loading really slowly? At first, I thought the site was broken, but I just had to wait for the content to load.
Probably the hurricane.
What?
I don't know. Wasn't Amazon having some problems today? And
AWS servers, yeah.
yeah, wasn't there some? No, it's working awesome now. So yeah, I think you said that the internet was goofing up a little bit earlier today, so it's possible that affected it for a little while, but it's fine now. We are in the midst of a hurricane.
A hurricane that's not here yet.
Yeah, it's not even here yet. And if you saw the thumbnail, I took a picture of our backyard and used it in the thumbnail. So we have a unwanted swimming pool right now in our backyard. And a dog that really doesn't want to go out to pee because he hates the rain.
Yeah, it's going to be worse though if he like jumps in a puddle.
I know. That's what I sent a picture to Brianna and she's like, don't let him out in there.
Oh, I didn't even think of that actually.
Because he'll go in there on purpose.
Oh, he'll like it.
Yeah. And then we'll have wet dog.
Well, it's worth. I mean, I don't know.
We'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, the internet should be fine by now, I think.
The internet. We're not even done yet. We're just getting started. We're supposed to have super high winds tonight and
I know.
tornado-y weather.
Yeah.
Evstathios, good evening, Leslie and Dylan. I have been thinking of upgrading my single bridge Super 8 Hello Kitty sticker strat. I suppose I'll need a new pick guard to add a hot 5 in the neck and keep the Super 8 in the bridge. I believe the Hello Kitty sticker would still fit in between the two pickups. What pots and caps would you suggest for either a 2-volume 1-tone or 1-volume 2-tone configuration?
I would use all 500s and I would probably use 33 caps in that situation.
Very specific.
Yep.
Don't damage the Hello Kitty sticker.
No.
Sounds important. Oops. Shane. Good morning, lovable Leslie and death-defying Dylan. Yours is pretty accurate.
Yeah, mine is, yeah.
First off.
Yours is too.
First off, in response to Tuesday's live pointy guitar rule, maybe that's guitars, pointy guitars rule, LOL. I actually have a lefty pointy guitar with a right-handed neck on it to give it a reversed headstock vibe. I am also looking at an Ibanez with a 470 lefty body coupled with a 570 right neck. Is there drawbacks to buying guitars with mismatched necks like these?
I mean, as long as they work. So, reverse peg heads can be a little cantankerous to set up. But once you get them dialed in, then you should be okay. I don't like them because I don't like how they work. But that being said, it's not my guitar, so it doesn't matter. That will be very cool. Anything like that, as long as the neck pocket's right, as long as the scale length is right, should be fine. Yeah, should be no problem at all.
The end.
Oh, literally, that's the end?
Of those questions. Yeah.
Well,
what's your topic today?
Yeah, I don't really have one.
Why not? That's your job.
Because it was slow. Well, it's been a weird week. And things have been, yeah. So when we have weather like this, I'm kind of worthless. And so it's been a tough week. I've had some high levels of pain and etc. So I wasn't in the very thinky mood today. I did work on some stuff that we're going to talk about in the off-topic hour. And I did work on some stuff for the drop for Saturday today, but we're also waiting on parts for 50 millimeter keeper bars. We're on back order for like 3 weeks.
So do they hold your whole order?
No,
Oh,
but we can't make any humbuckers without them.
right.
So we're like, I mean, everything's ready. Like as soon as that stuff gets here, they're going to pop together and be out the door the next day, but which I think it'll get here Friday or Monday. And we don't have our backlog of orders is not overly long, you know. I will say the one cool thing that has happened this week too is we did get our Cerakote pickups back from the Cerakoters, and they look great. The new guy is awesome. We etched some Cerakote with the laser, which is pretty neat. I know what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to sell those, but I'm going to. I know what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do next time.
Will the sides work?
Nah.
Okay.
Now what happens is the top wraps over a little bit.
Yes.
But then the sides also wrap over back
then it
over onto
overlaps.
the top. Yeah. Yeah. So if I put blue tape on it, maybe I could make it made up a little bit better. So I learned something this week.
I'm going to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
It's a super chat, so I have to read it, but it feels weird. Miserable Turd sent us a super chat. Thank you for the super chat. He said, Leslie is looking smoking hot tonight, as usual.
I would say so.
It's very awkward to read. Who's Leslie? Just kidding. Thank you. Whoops.
So I learned this week that blue tape absorbs the laser, the fiber laser, so you can use it to mask and do really neat stuff. So I'm going to do some more experimenting.
Did you post any pictures today? No.
I didn't post any pictures of any of the stuff. So there's a tab open down there. When we get into the off-topic hour, we're actually going to bring up what we're going to show them, and we're going to show them. So
the thing we can't talk about.
The thing we can't talk about until
later.
the off-topic hour. Yeah, because it's not on topic. So, yeah.
Even though it's in the same shop.
True. Yep. I'm excited, though, about all of it.
Yeah, for somebody who says you can't be creative, you've been very creative.
Yeah, you know, it's been fun. This is really kind of, I mean, it's made me want to do a lot of stuff. And not just, I mean, obviously, it sent me down some rabbit holes with some non-guitar related stuff. But we're going to come out with a pickup we've never done before, and I'm going to build it from scratch if it works. You know, like bobbins and all. Like, it's going to be something that it's going to be very, very cool. And it's going to fit in it's going to fit in guitars, multiple guitars, but it's going to be something that nobody's ever done before. And I'm very excited about it. And to have that level of like creative freedom and like that level of like, wait a minute, let me see what I can make here that hasn't been done before. I mean, it's still going to be magnets and wire wrapped around a thing, you know, so it's still a pickup, but it's going to be fun.
Super chat from Doc Siltonen. Thank you for the super chat, Doc. He said laser engraved P90 covers are great. I'm definitely going to want some of those. Maybe even some branded covers. Can't read.
Oh, we could do that. We could definitely do that. Yep.
Thank you, Doc.
Yeah. Thanks for the super chat, Doc. Yeah, we could definitely do that for you, Doc. We've already actually made some flat work for him with his logo in it and stuff. And I've sent him a concept for some case badges that he's going to put on his guitar cases, because he's like a full-on guitar builder, like with guitars in stores now and stuff.
It's very cool.
And he told me some stuff last night that's really exciting. Like, he's getting noticed by some people, so it's pretty neat. Yeah, man.
Jose Daniel Zamora P said, "Can you show any finished Cerakote pickups?" You haven't finished any yet.
They're in no, because I'm waiting on these parts. So, and they're in the garage. Actually, they're not here. They look awesome though. I mean, they're just black. They're flat black. But we are going to use black screws, so you know they're going to be black. It's going to be cool. And
oh, it didn't click. Super chat from Miserable Turd. Thank you for the super chat. He said, "Hurricane? It's not that the wind is blowing. It's what the wind is blowing."
Man, no joke. Yeah, for right now, it's
No
just
fun.
a lot of water falling out of the sky.
Mm-hmm.
It's been raining.
We got a little break. We're in some kind of weird pocket right now, but it's coming again.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
With wind this time.
Yep. We lost half of a tree a couple of years ago, so hopefully we don't lose the other half.
Or maybe we do, and then we don't have to pay to have it taken down.
We would still have to pay to have it taken away. So, yeah.
True.
My tree guy's not in town right now either.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If Stathio says the website says you're out of the 0.033 caps, any idea when they'll be available again?
Probably as soon as I adjust the inventory.
Good job.
Because sometimes that happens. Because I know we have some. So let me just go in here real quick and handle that. What else we got?
Let's start at the top. T-Bone says, "Dylan, are you still a fan of the SE Silver Sky?"
I am. I don't have one. I sold it to a friend of mine here in town, and he plays the crap out of it and loves it. And I'm down. I think they're cool. If you can swing the American one, get the American one. It's leagues ahead of the others in workmanship and feel and stuff. But at the same time, don't stress about it. Just get the one you can get. You know what I mean? Let's see. Oh yeah, that's weird.
Joe Coach says, "Hey, Dylan and Leslie, from your friend on the east side of Atlanta.
Hey.
Stay safe and dry."
Thank you.
You too, Joe.
You too.
It's wild out there. I was literally, so at work today, like, I'm here. The weather was terrible. One of the people I'm with is in Charleston. His weather is terrible. And we're both like, hope this works.
Oh.
Let's see here.
As soon as I hit this button.
Super chat from Searching for Tone. Thank you for the super chat. He said, "Here's to the wind fund. I may need this back if it takes a sharp right towards North Carolina."
Oh, thanks, man. Eustathios, inventory has been corrected.
Was that who said it?
I believe so.
Oh.
So you can order the said capacitors. Thank you for pointing that out.
I didn't think that's who it was. Maybe you're right. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, you're right. Fine. You're right.
Not always, but sometimes.
Yeah. All right. Trees grow back. People don't. That's true.
Yeah, I don't think that thing would hurt any people, but it would definitely.
I think he's saying like sacrificing a tree is better than anything else happening. And I agree.
Yeah, and I would rather have that than water damage or something.
Jose Daniel Zamora P said, "I recently read the phrase, 'entrepreneurs never stop working.' What are your takes on that, and how do you balance? I've been having some extra lawyer work and having to work at night." 100% true.
Yeah. So
maybe not for everybody.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know. I go in streaks. I think actual work that has to get done, for example, it's the extra stuff that I have a hard time shutting off, like working on this stuff we're about to talk about in the off-topic hour. But when it comes to making pickups, when it comes to shooting videos, when it comes to doing all that stuff, when you're done with work, I try to be done with work. Like I try to be done with work when work is done. And I try to not, except for on Thursdays, I try to not work at night. And I really try to, now I will think about work, but I've been journaling so much that kind of is an outlet for it, where I don't just sit there and stew about, and to be honest with you, I get more involved in work when it's slow than when it's busy. I find efficiencies when it's busy, and I find stress when it's slow, because, you're trying to make a living and support your family. So if it's slow, and there's a couple of months, we always talk about the J months, January, June and July are always really slow. And so, obviously it's fine. It's not like we're going out of business or anything, but those are the slower months. And so you're always like I'm always really wrapped up in it, and I work extra hard, and I probably shoot more videos than normal. And I probably, do a bunch of stuff like that to keep it going. But when we're really busy, then I get in a groove, and I don't want to say I work less, but I do feel less stressed when there's a lot of work, because now to me, it's the challenge and the fun of just the time management and getting it all done. And Leslie will tell you, I'll get up on a Monday morning and be like, oh my God, we're going to be so slammed. And then, by the next day, I have a good handle on the week, and it doesn't feel stressful. So, yeah, I overthink it sometimes, but I really try not to work too much, because I am a workaholic by nature. And if I let it, I will just, now I'll be up till 11:30 at night playing with a laser in the garage.
Yeah.
So if you want to call that work, okay, but then again, I don't have time during the day because I'm making pickups. It's like, I don't know. It depends how you look at it, I guess. Because we are starting another business. So it's like, I guess it's work, but it's off topic hour work.
Yeah. And you still have fun because you like to make things go.
I love it. I love making a business go. I love the creating of it. I love learning the new tools. I love buying tools. So I love it all for sure. Yep.
All right. It's Victoria G. How much difference would there be if you switch a volume pot from an A500K to a DiMarzio 250K pot? I know the value makes a difference, but is a DiMarzio pot that much better, or placebo?
So it depends which one. Oh no, that's the Dunlop. Probably it's going to be the taper might be a little different, as well as the tolerance might be a little different. No matter what the just as good as guys want to say, cheap pots and cheap guitars have tolerances that are all over the place. Sometimes they can be as much as 30-40% off. And a more expensive pot's going to be under 10%. So that can make a big difference. And so that might be what you get with the DiMarzio pot. However, I would not, unless you're looking for the specific taper that pot has, I wouldn't stress about it too much, because you can get very good tolerance, nice taper, average pots for a lot less. Unless you're looking for the thing specifically that thing does.
Jose Daniel Zamora P says, Dylan, why didn't you keep the custom color SG? It was really neat.
Because that was not mine. That was Gibson's. They lent me that. And that was a media guitar. I was not the first or the last to get it. So the way that works is Gibson will send me a guitar. Sometimes they'll send me a brand new one and give me the option to buy it. Sometimes they'll send me like an actual media one, sort of like in the car business where like everybody drives the same car. They just send it around to all the magazines. It's kind of the same thing. So the last two guitars I've gotten from Gibson have been media guitars. That I think one of them I sent to Phil McKnight. The other one I sent to, I forget who, like after I was done with it. So I couldn't keep it. And if I wanted to keep it, they wouldn't have sold me that one. I would have gotten a new one. Mm-hmm. But usually a lot of times they'll give me an option. They'll be like, hey, are you going to want one of these? Do you think? Because we will send you a new one if you think you're going to buy it. They did that with the Dave Grohl 335. So they sent me that. We made the videos about it, and then I bought it and didn't send it back. But that was a brand new guitar because he knew I wanted one. So it's a kind of a conversation that can be had sometimes, not all the time.
It's been a while since I've seen this name, so I hope I'm not going to say it wrong. Ted Onishchuk?
I think that's right.
Okay. So electro, 12 strings need their own pickup. It seems many just use 6-string pickups. Does that matter? Can the field be tailored to 12 string?
I think, no, I mean, the magnetic field is what it is over the pickup, or surrounding the pickup, surrounding the string and magnetizing the string. I will say that you're really more looking for frequency response and dynamics there.
I got it wrong.
That can be tuned. Is it Onishchuk?
I don't know. He just said close enough, so that means I got it wrong.
Okay. Anyway.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's...
Super chat from Jono JF. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you, sir.
Says Dylan, in theory, I play a rig built of Super 8s, Spark Mini, same sound amp configuration, and runway audio cables. What is the difference in tone between two players? Strings, pickup height, others?
Oh, so like, let's say me and you are playing the exact same pickup, exact same everything, and we would still sound different. It's hand position. To me, it's the interaction of your neck hand, of your fretting hand. I mean, also the picking hand too, but I really, in my experience, it has been the interaction of your fretting hand. The way you approach the strings. I think that's what makes the difference. Yep.
Said on, like turn on. On is Chuck.
Okay. So short O, not long O. Gotcha.
All right. Let's see. I love that it's busier tonight. I feel like it's been
A little slow.
kind of quiet lately.
Yeah. Well, people have been occupied with stuff too, so.
Yeah. Oh, that's off topic, so we'll leave that.
Cool.
Kyle Ketchamonia. I think I need new wiring for my Eastwood. It looks like a mess, and I'm not feeling it. Do you have parts for that?
We have individual parts. So you'll have to go on the website, and for that guitar, because I think you got P90s there, I want to say, I would do 500K pots. I would do a 33 cap. And then just kind of duplicate what's in the guitar. You know, if it's got 3 pots, get 3. Or I don't know. I can't remember what it's got. So, and then order, a few feet of wire, and because wire's cheap, and a jack, you know, and a switch, and you should be good. But yeah, we do have all that stuff. I'm not going to wire it or send you a harness, but we do have all the loose parts.
These are so fun. I'm going to put this on the screen because Jim Cox just gifted 5 Dylan Talks Tone memberships, and then it tells you who. So he gifted one to Martian Murray, Steve Rezer, Chuck C., Robert Olin, and Sean McMillan.
Holy crap, man.
That's really nice.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jim.
That's very cool. That is very, very cool. We've had a few people do that over the years, and that's really neat, man. Yeah, wow. Y'all are awesome.
Chris Thompson wants to know, what are your thoughts on active versus passive electronics in guitars? Are there any situations where active electronics would be beneficial, or can you pretty much do everything with pedals and amps?
So I think it's just like the sound, right? Like, so for example, if you take like a preamp situation, like in a bass, that is going to create, they run on 9 or 18 volts. I built a 5-string bass for a guy, and we did an 18 volt Aguilar preamp. And that was bonkers. And it literally ups the voltage going through the cable, from millivolts to more millivolts, and it hits everything way harder. And it completely changes the curve of how all that works afterwards. Now in a bass, it's different. But in a guitar, I guess it's the same. I mean, EMGs with their preamp, they sound the way they sound because of that. So I don't know that there is a benefit like why you would change one over the other. If you like the way it sounds, then do it. If you don't like the way it sounds, then don't do it. Fishmans are not actually active. They call them powered. So I don't know the nuance of that, but basically they are kind of different. And so they sound more traditional, but they do have a sound. So personally, I like passive pickups because I feel like what I'm getting, I can play with it more, and I can do various things, and they're more expressive with the knobs and with everything else. And with your playing style, the whole joke about if you want every guitar to sound the same, put EMGs in it. I'm not saying it's true, but you can see where people get that conclusion, though, because it does kind of take that out of it. But that's why people like it, too, because if they're looking for a particular sound and it's uber consistent. So, I guess the consistency of tone is what you would get out of that if you find that a benefit.
Jim Cox was telling everybody the memberships only last a month. It's up to you to renew after that. And I was thinking, make sure you take advantage of getting some questions in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
While you have your membership.
Exactly. Because we'll put those are the ones that go on the screen. So YouTube membership and Patreon membership, those are the ones that go on the screen. And if you upgrade to the highest one, you can hang out with our live Zoom hangout that we're going to have this Monday.
Is it supposed to be the last or the 4th?
Last, I thought.
Okay, good. Otherwise, you missed it.
I thought about it afterwards. Yeah.
Okay. September 30th.
Yep.
F. Stothios, do I need to let you know that the Hot 5 neck will be paired with a Super 8 on the bridge to be wound properly for hum canceling?
I would say yes, but I'm looking at your order right now because it just hit my...
I think that was Potts.
No, he ordered a pickup too.
Oh.
Where this?
I got some weird pop-up on it over here because I forgot to mute it.
North positive start. I'm making a note right now so that it is done. There you go.
So
I just put a
thanks
note on
for
your
letting
order.
him know.
Yeah, and thank you for ordering and ordering some parts. That's awesome. And he has the other thing is, if you're a Patreon member or a YouTube member, you get 10% off everything that we make at Dylan Talks Tone. So if you are one of those people who just got gifted a YouTube membership, shoot me a message on the chat on the website, and I'll send you the code so that you can order stuff for 10% off this month and to be honest with you guys, if you join Patreon for $5 or you join YouTube for $5 for a month, just so you can get 10% off, doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me at all. Because to be fair, we've got a custom pick guard that I think it'd save you almost $50.
Yeah, we've looked at that before.
Yeah, it's worth it to become a Patreon member, especially if you're going to order some stuff. Now I sound like the people at Costco. You want the elite membership? Because if you spend more than $200
we're
on
not
toilet
returning
paper,
your money if you don't save as much as you spend.
That's right. I'm not
Not
going to send you
Costco.
I'm not going to send you a check at the end of the year based on how much you spend.
Mainly because we wouldn't keep up with it.
No.
Tom says, I'm getting into single coil pickups in my Strat. Always had a humbucker in the bridge. Do you have any single coil pickups that actually have good output to them, like a P90, or is that even possible?
It is possible, but we don't have the parts for those anymore. So here's what I would get. I would get our Highway 99 bridge pickup, or get the whole set, honestly. That's what I would get. Yep. The Highway 99 or the Hot 5. Either one.
Super chat from Gordon. Thank you for the super chat,
Thanks,
Gordon. He wants to know, hey guys, Dylan Thruxton, Alnico 2 or Slant 6?
Thruxton all day long. All day long.
Jose says you're sounding like a timeshare seller.
That's right. Yeah.
I never did any of that. Did you ever sit through some dumb thing to me either? I don't have
And I'm
patience.
also not going to give you a free weekend somewhere
Right.
just for listening to my spiel either.
Yeah. I've never done that because I don't have the patience for that.
No, and it always takes way longer than they say. And then you're
stuck.
Your free weekend is spending it listening to all this crap. It's not really a free weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim Cox said, I forgot to ask when I ordered those P90s from you, how would you wire them up in a traditional Les Paul 2-volume, 2-tone, 1 3-way?
Just the way you would normally. The hot wire would go to that one finger of one pot, and the hot wire would go to the other finger of the other pot, and then you would just ground the other ones. Yeah, pretty normal. You left a super chat up there.
Well, the funny thing is I just came across Gordon's original question, and I must took too long, so then he gave us a super chat.
Oh, sorry, man.
He said, so his original thing said, I can't decide between the Thruxton Alnico 2 or the Slant 6. Give me a Cliff Note breakdown. I did watch your humbucker video. Great stuff.
Okay, so Thruxton is slash. The Slant 6 is like a single coil, but a humbucker. So
I loved Cliff Notes when I was in school. Kyle Ketchamonia said, would you guys go to Toronto for a pickup class? Because I'm moving there by December.
Going out of the country doing that would be very difficult.
We would go to Toronto, though.
We would go to Toronto, though.
Some very strange noises.
Is that your stomach?
It wasn't yours.
Nope.
Maybe it was mine. I did think about the
You
time.
were talking about the creaking that was
Yeah, I
going on
heard.
over there,
Yeah.
though.
I did think about the time I was like, oh, it's almost time to get started. I probably should have eaten.
Yeah, I
Um,
get that.
Curtis Chavez says, Dylan, you've had the Firebird pickups for a while. How much do Firebird pickups differ from mini humbuckers and humbuckers? Do you personally like Firebird pickups?
I like Firebird pickups. I hate making them, and I hate having to stock them because nobody ever buys them. They are awesome. They are better than mini humbuckers. They are not better than regular humbuckers. They are kind of edgier. They sound great, but they're not as good as a P90. So we make them because people say they want this. Like, they say they want them, but nobody. I think I've ever sold. I'll tell you right now. We've sold 10,000 pickups. We've probably sold 10 Firebird pickups ever. maybe 20 ever. So, and we sell that many P90s every week. So
We already have people chiming in. Chuck C says Buffalo is 90 minutes from Toronto. So apparently he's in Buffalo. And Dog Dr. Tim said, hey, no free weekend. I wanted to visit. We need to visit Tim.
I know.
Not this weekend.
He thought of us yesterday. He texted me last night. He's like, you guys stay safe down there because
it's wild out there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Jason B said, what's up, Dylan and fam? About to start making my own humbuckers and wanted to know if maple spacers or metal spacers play a part in the sound of a humbucker.
Okay, so I would not use any ferrous metal inside the humbucker other than the screws, the slugs, and the little keeper bar that goes on the bottom of the screw that the magnet sits against. Do not use steel screws to attach the bobbins, and do not use a metal spacer on the other side underneath the slug. That will mess things up. The reason they used wood in the old days is because nobody had invented plastic yet. So just use the plastic ones. They're really cheap, and yeah. Hey, bud. Woke up from a nap.
Super chat from Gordon. Thank you for the super chat, Gordon. He said, Dylan, I need you to make me a loaded pickup guard. I've never heard it called a
You can
pickup
do that. So if you go to the website, there is a page. In fact, I think it's on the front page of the website right now. And you click on that, and you'll be able to drop in, like, I want this single coil, this humbucker, this whatever. And you can pick your pots and your caps and the color of the pit guard and all that stuff. We do a couple of those every week too. Yeah. And if you're a Patreon or a YouTube member, I mean, those are $350 to start. So you'll get a chunk off of that.
Kyle Ketchamonia, he said he was moving to Canada. He said, I'm going to film school, but I would love to learn how to make my own pickups.
That's awesome.
And then he said, I'm trying to collect pickups from all the big guys. I got the Enduros, but I'm getting the holy grail, Dylan's pickups.
My P90s, I think we were talking about that the other day.
I'd be curious if there's a story with the film school, if he's doing anything we investigated previously.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah, interesting.
Air Borden says, I am very curious about your P90s. What would I need to do to make the P90 work with my Les Paul?
Oh, don't. Like, don't cut because you'd have to cut your guitar. So don't do that. Order a special, get an SG special for $600 or whatever they cost. Maybe they're $899 now or something. Do that. I would not cut your Les Paul up. I wouldn't do that.
Super chat from Jim Cox. Thank you for the super chat, Jim. He said, I meant to ask, what value caps would you use with 500K pots in the Les Paul P90 setup in a vintage V100? So probably need new standard size pots.
33s. We do have long shaft pots. And I just found out yesterday. I'm going to do a video on this because it's going to completely piss the internet off. But I can get Central Lab Bumblebee pot caps now. They are not cheap. They're like $20 a piece, but they look super cool. And so we can get those now. I might get a couple of those and put them in a build. Be fun.
Gordon said, follow up to his super chat question. I can and will send you my guard because it's a weird shape.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't usually do that, but if you've got some goofy shape, then...
All right. I'm going to leave that for after hours because we were running out of time.
Okay.
Jason B said, do you have any names of websites or links to websites that information on how to recreate your favorite brand pickups in your own way?
No, because I'm not saying it can't be done, but there's so many different ways to do the same thing that it's not really
A formula.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like anything else. You shoot for the numbers and it gets you in the ballpark, and then you kind of have to tweak it based on how you do things. And so that's what I have to do. We don't do a lot of copying or emulating other people's pickups, but in the times I have had to do it for, other guitar builders and stuff. And it just takes some fiddling. Like a lot of times you don't know how many wines are already on something else. And the other thing too is, like, let's say nobody actually knows how many wines were on PAFs, like, because they didn't have counters, right? So that whole mythological thing is stupid anyways. Fender, every pickup is different. Every model of every guitar is always a little different. So there's no real standard for any of this stuff. As much as people think, it's like this vintage pickup is, yeah, well, that week it was that, but not the following month or the next month, because things were changing so much. You got to figure that in the infancy of the guitar, the infancy of anything, at the beginning of it, there is very fast evolution, right? So like, you're figuring out a problem, solving a problem. Oh, okay, we'll do this. Then this breaks all the time, so we got to do this. Oh, this manufacturing takes too long, so we got to change how this is manufactured. At the beginning of something, that's happening all the time. Oh, this material is too expensive. We got to go from swamp ash to alder. All those kinds of things happen at the beginning. And so in the vintage times, when everybody's like, oh, these are the holy grail of whatever, it's really kind of hard to, that's why they'll say, well, do you have a spaghetti strat, or do you have a transition strat, or do you have right? Because everything just changed so much all the time. So there's really no standard for it. It's just a matter of building what you want and what you want to hear and what you like.
Jose Daniels Moripi said the discount is worth the membership alone if you're going to order something.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Cox said, I prefer passive because my 9-volt batteries go in the beeping smoke detectors.
That's so funny. I mean, I've had that. Like, I was going to use this overdrive pedal, but then and the battery is gone because it's in
We've pulled them out of pedals, or
we've pulled them out of pedals to do other things. Yeah. Garage door opener remotes and whatever else you need.
Dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. Evstathio says, now I need a pick guard. Any suggestions as to where to get one from? Warmouth WD.
I mean, if it's just a Strat, I can make you one. We could make like a translucent pink so he could still see the sticker between it. Or that's wind.
Is
It's
it already
wind. It's
starting?
wind kicking up. Yeah.
Daniel Rentel, I don't know. I want to upgrade my pots and my Telly style guitar. I have a humbucker in the neck and a single coil in the bridge. Should I put in 250K or 500K pots?
500. I would just put 500. And we have the drop-in kits, so you can just slap it all in there and hook up your pickups and go. Don't even have to solder the output jack on.
Guitars, Mods, Music, Paul Hopley says, Dylan, how does your P90 compare to the Lindy Fralin P90?
It's better.
I'm upgrading a Les Paul Jr. Epiphone. I've never been able to find a comparison. Thanks.
It's better.
The end.
The end.
Kyle Ketchamonia said, can I email you a picture of the Eastwood wiring just so I'm 100% getting the right parts? I'll do it myself though, for sure. I love learning.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Just take a picture of the guitar so I can see what components are in it, and then I'll give you a list. You know, be like, okay, you need this many of this and this many of this, and make sure we get you the right switch, because sometimes that can be a thing. And then look at the layout of it and make sure we get you enough wire. Yeah, so you can do that. Somebody in the chat last week did that too, and then the next day got in touch with me, and I gave him a list of everything he needed. So,
Doc Siltonen said he's playing his JJJ Strat at the moment with your pickups in it. It sounds like Jim's 57 to me. Whatever you had to do, it worked.
yeah, that one was a trick, because those pickups in Jim's 57 Strat were weird. They were weird, and so that took a little doing. We got it though.
F. Stathio says, can you add the pick guard to my order? Single on the neck, no mid, humbucker, uncovered in the bridge. Probably white to put the Hello Kitty sticker on.
Send me an email with all of that spec in it, and send me a picture of your guitar in the email so I know what just so that we verify all this. Okay. Yeah.
Jose Daniel Zamora P said, is it better to switch all of the electronics on a guitar when changing pickups, or just easier?
It depends on the guitar, right? Like, if it's a hollow body, like a 335, then yeah, because you only want to take that guitar apart one time. And
you don't really want to do it then.
Yeah, you'll never want to actually do it after that ever again. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, pots. So again, it depends on the guitar, right? So if it's a cheap guitar, and we talked about all those tolerances and things and that kind of stuff, then yeah, I would do it. If it's a Les Paul, like a real Les Paul, and you're changing pickups, those have CTS pots in them. They have orange drop. You know, that one's got 500K CTS pots. It's got orange drop caps in it. Like, I wouldn't change that stuff, because it's already what I would be putting it in anyways, right? Like, that's what we would replace it with. So I would leave that alone and then just change the pickup. So it depends what you're starting with.
Kind of ran out of guitar type stuff. But Miserable Turd just said, FYI, our friends in Anna Maria Island just texted us. They lost their house due to high wind and water.
Oof.
It's interesting, because it must be those like barrier islands, because I feel like people like in Bradenton and Sarasota like didn't get the weather they thought they were going to get.
Right.
So maybe those islands took the brunt of that water.
Oh, yeah. It would make sense, because that's like
Isn't that where we went? Am I correct?
That's the windward side
Yeah.
of Tampa, south of St. Pete,
Right.
but above Sarasota.
Yeah, I think that's the beach we went to that Layla, what's her name?
Yeah,
Lila
Lila.
likes,
Mhm.
and we went there. Remember
Yep.
that?
I do. Mm-hmm.
Not cool. I actually saw a lot of pictures locally, even early this morning, of flooding, like in Evans, and
Here, yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's been wild.
Well, and that's why I told Brianna to be careful going to work, because she had to drive through, that rural part of there sometimes can flood pretty
Mhm.
quickly.
Let's see. Yeah, 3 minutes to go, and that's all the questions. Jose Daniels Morepi said, I did on a Sheraton and will never do it again. Indeed. Took me like 5 hours to fish everything
Dude,
out.
I hate it, man. I hate working on hollow bodies. It sucks. Yep. Well, do you want to just go off topic hours?
Whatever.
Let's do it. Turn on the sign.
Sure. People are checking on us. Sorry.
Oh, are they?
Yep. So tell them what it is.
All right. So this is off topic hour after 9 o'clock. So basically, you can ask any question you want as long as it doesn't have to do with guitars. If you ask a guitar question after 9 o'clock, it has to be in a super chat. We do this just to hang out, get to know y'all. It's kind of one of our favorite parts of the YouTube week, is just to hang out with you. And, oh, you mean like people not from here checking on us?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. So this is kind of fun. One thing I want to tell you about, off topic wise, is and you knew this was coming. Of course, I bought these lasers for guitar stuff, right? But there's a lot of other things that can be done with them. And so we have been making a bunch of stuff not guitar related. So if you need gifts, or you need suggestions for gifts, or you need whatever, we're going to give you a website.
I was like, why are you making gifts?
Gifts. I'm going to give you a website, and keep checking it, because it's going to continue to fill out. We've just got some coasters and some bottle openers on there now. But we've got laser engravable leather wrapped flasks coming. We're going to do some dog tags, as in like that humans can wear. We've got some dog tags that dogs can wear.
Or humans.
Or humans. We're going to do, probably going to do some whiskey tumblers with leather wraps on them. Might do some cutting boards. Working on some other stuff. We got a bunch of stuff happening. And yeah, so let's actually show you real quick, just so you know what it is. The website is called burntperfect.com. And we go like this, and then we go like this. What does that say?
Requesting to bypass some security you have in place.
Okay, whatever. So here it is. So we have a bunch of, and of course, this is all stuff that I wouldn't put on the guitar site. So we got some firearms related stuff. I think I don't have any knife stuff up here, but it's coming. Highland cows seem to be popular, and other nature animals. Of course, some Sasquatch stuff. Skulls are a kind of a thing. I'm really proud of these. These are what just happened? That was weird.
I don't know. Did I do it wrong?
There it goes. I like this little play on words with the pistol, the rifle, and the revolver that says "just one more" on a beer opener. I think that's pretty cool. So anyway, that is just a start of what we're doing. And
if you like puns, every single product has a pun that it opens with. You're welcome. You don't know that.
Oh,
you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
You said yep. Like
I haven't seen it. And then of course there's going to be some other t-shirts. There's going to be a bunch of other stuff there as well. So, and if you have there's a few things here. One is, I'm just going to tell you, if you have a business and you need personalized merch for your business, like hats and with hat patches and that kind of stuff, we will do it for you. We have the facility to do it. If you are a realtor and you want us to make you a set of coasters with your name on it, whatever, cutting board, whatever, we are set up to do tumblers, but I'm not ready yet because I'm not good at it enough yet. It's a thing. So I'm still learning that. And then we're also going to start selling, check these out. I'm also going to start selling some non-FFL accessories, such as, I don't know when we're going to do this, but so we've got a Damascus patterned
Hard to see on the camera.
AR magazine right there. And then I did 2 patterns on this one because I was just trying to see what I would do. So there's like a camel pattern on this side and like a zebra pattern on this side. And we can do all kinds of stuff. We could put words on there. We could put, don't touch my stuff. We could put whatever you want, almost, on that stuff. And there's a bunch of other kind of accessories and stuff that I'm looking at doing. But of course, all that stuff can't be put on the guitar site. So,
Super chat from Miserable Turd. Thank you for the super chat. He said, I installed a back panel on my ES339. It looks fine and sure beats the Houdini act you usually have to do working on the electronic.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Well, you want to hear some off-topic-y things?
Yeah, let's do it.
Jose Daniels of More Peace sent a few things.
Okay.
He said, off topic, are you into swords as well? There's this channel called Shadiversity. I don't know how to say that. SHA Diversity.
Okay.
Really cool. That tests them. Really interesting.
I think I've watched him before. Yeah, right back there.
That is a sword.
Is Scottish Claymore. It's 54 inches long, weighs 5.5 pounds. It's like a legit. That's a Paul Chen creation. And then over here, I don't know if you can see them on Tuesdays. Sometimes you can, depending on the angle and how I sit. But I've got a Japanese Tonto over here, and I have a katana. And I was actually just shopping for a wakizashi the other night, but I didn't buy it. I want a wakizashi because I don't have one, and I need that for that collection. And then over here, I'm kind of trying to narrow down the type of British broadsword that I want. I'd like to get a Roman gladius, and I would also like to get a British broadsword. And then I really would like to get a Canaanite scimitar, because I'm trying to kind of cover all the history as we go down. Obviously firearms end up over here, and even in there's history in there, but I'd like to kind of work my way around the room and eventually have little laser engraved little plaques that tell you the history of each thing as you go along. So you kind of come in here and it's sort of like a museum. That's kind of what I'm going for. Long term, like a long-term thing. It's kind of fun. But yes, I love swords. I think they're neat.
Next one from Jose. He said, I saw a sketch recently about Asian names and them just being like, just call me Sharon. And I wanted to say, I find it really thoughtful that Leslie makes the effort to get everyone's name right.
Yep. Wasn't there something about that at your company?
Yeah. So, so we have support teams. They work for us, so they're not like subcontracted. And a lot of people tend to have feelings about that, but they are fabulous. We have 2 support teams. One's in India and one's in the Philippines. And specifically our team in India, they had American names when they emailed people back. Like it was just like a built-in reply with American names. I didn't even realize that was happening, but it was like an experiment. Like, let's see how our customers respond or if anybody even says anything. Nobody said anything, but what it meant to those individuals,
Nobody said anything when you went to their
no
given
customer
names.
said anything, but it was really impressionable to the folks that were then able to use their real names.
Yep.
Like something you take for granted.
Yeah, like, why am I using this fake name every day? Can't I just be me?
Right.
And they were able to then.
Right. So we've never done that again. Everybody uses their real name. And also related, like nobody could ever say my grandma's name. And so then I felt like they called her, it was derogatory in my opinion because it like took away from her name.
Mhm.
But so I think little things like that have always kind of bugged me.
Nobody ever says my name correctly or spells it correctly or anything. And so I try to get people's names right. Yeah. And my last name is, it's funny, like my last name's difficult if you don't think about it. But the moment you look at it, it's phonetic. So it's not that hard. But people don't take the time. So, well, it's your last name too, I suppose. People don't take the time. So yeah, taking the time. And it means something to people.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
Yeah.
I try. I'm not going to say I'm good at it all the time, but and then his last question, is the pillow on the couch comfy? It looks like it feels funny. It does feel funny.
But I love it though.
It's cow.
It's a cow. Yeah.
So if you rub it the wrong way, it's prickly.
Mm-hmm.
And if you rub it the other way, it's like petting a cow.
So
it doesn't stink.
So I do, like if it's upside down, I'll flip it over.
Yeah.
Because like when you lay down on it, you want to like be going with it, not against it. So
sometimes I sit my arm on it and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. And then you have to like turn it 180 so that it's like you're going with the.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
So it's not bad. It's just,
no,
it is different, but they look nice
and
they keep nice.
And the carpet is soft though.
That is, well, I don't know.
Softer.
No, you can rub it the wrong way.
I guess that's true. They're super durable, like tough like a cow.
Right. Ha ha ha.
I have a sheep pelt over here. I love that thing.
All right. I'm just catching up. I apologize.
Getting some off-topic questions.
Yeah.
Fired up.
Let me just keep grabbing. Whoops. Didn't mean to click that button.
Almost banned somebody by accident.
That was bad. All right. It's Victoria G said, is it a real cow or a vegan cow? It's a dead cow.
It's a dead cow.
Definitely not vegan. I've never eaten a pillow though.
The cow is vegan.
True.
I think this cow came from Brazil.
Imported a cow.
Well, I mean, they tell you where they come from because there's.
Where were we? And they had like purple cow skin. I was like, I've never seen a purple cow.
Yeah, I don't remember where that was either. But there's somewhere these come from somewhere in Europe, but then they also come from Brazil, and this one came from Brazil.
Kyle Ketchamonia sent a couple things in. He said, the film school I'm going to gave me 2 invitations because I'm native and I do music videos and short films. I'm excited. I'm a prairie boy moving to the big city, taking only my D18. What's advice for someone moving to a big city for the first time?
I mean, obviously use whatever caution you feel you need to use, but I would definitely embrace it. You know, everybody else already lives there. So you don't have to be afraid of it. People that are afraid of cities, I think overthink it because everybody that lives there isn't afraid of it. It's already there. So find a friend and learn it and
Yeah, you'll
enjoy
probably
it.
make friends if you're going with a program. Like,
I moved from the Hopi Indian Reservation to Brooklyn.
that's a lot.
Yeah. And it was great.
And you were very young.
I was 19. I loved it. I loved it. And I still I love the city. I love the city. And you know, I appreciate the culture of it. I appreciate the fact that there's so much going on as far as like, you know, wherever you live is just like one piece of obviously of what's going on in the world. So when you live in a big city, you'll see kind of more pieces of the world in a small space, if that makes sense. And I really like that. Traveling fixes a lot of problems. Like a lot of the things that people get mad about on the internet, like you can tell the people that never go anywhere and never do anything cool because they're the most angry, I feel like. And the people that have traveled around and seen a lot of stuff and experienced a lot of stuff, they're a lot more like, yeah, I've seen a crazy person like that before. It's cool. And they just kind of keep going, you know?
Guitars, mods, music. Paul Hopley says, my wife has an X tool laser. Works pretty good. What type do you use?
So we have two. We have an 80 watt CO2 flatbed cutter engrave. It engraves too, but it's really for cutting. So that, you know, we use that for making pickup flat work and cutting wood and acrylic and all kinds of sheet stuff. And then we have a Cloud Ray QS30 30 watt fiber laser for the other stuff, for the metal and all that. Yep.
Jose Daniel Zamora P said, Romance of Men. That's the name of the website. Sells some awesome Asian swords, and the prices aren't that crazy, as well as a lot of custom options.
I will look into that.
And then Doc Siltonen said, what about a Spetsnaz Saperka? Spetsnaz Saperka?
I would love one of those.
Don't give him anything to put on a list.
I would love one of those. You know me and Cold War stuff. Cold War stuff is... So I'm currently in the process of... I'm in exploratory mode right now. Meaning I'm not buying anything, but I'm learning about things so that when I'm ready and learned up and have the money saved up, then I'm going to buy the things. I want all of the major James Bond guns, and I want there's a few pistols pre-war, like cowboy, like post Civil War, but pre World War I, that I would like to have. And then, of course, I would like to have all the battle rifles of the world. So I have a couple now, but I need to get a good SK. I need to get a Galil. I need to get an M1A1. There's a few things, but so yeah. And then on the blade side, there's obviously I've got some swords to get to. But anything Cold War or spy related, any of that stuff, man, so freaking cool.
Kyle Ketchamonia said he's excited to go to concerts and shows because no one comes to the prairies.
Heck yeah, that's awesome, man.
Jason B said Dylan Talks Tone is not a hard last name to say.
That's right. Talks Tone's pretty easy.
Doc Stilton said travel is a prejudice killer.
It is. It really is. When you start to see how other people live besides you and they can do it, despite many things, it really wakes you up.
It's Victoria G said, oh my God, yes. Very true in the WNBA fandom. The people who are angry all the time have a very narrow worldview.
I think that can be said about a lot of areas of life, right?
Well, Well, if that's something they're into, like that would make sense
I think the dog needs to go out.
to draw. Oh, okay. Did he go?
Yep.
All right.
I just left it. I just pulled the
maybe
door
he'll come
too
back
so
in.
that he could just bust in, and then I'll go close it.
Jose Daniel Zamora P said, at school, it was funny that Asian students use Latino names. And when people told them something, they were just like, all names are made up. I just got to choose mine. Great response for school.
Oh, interesting.
Chris Thompson said, I see the clock hanging on the wall behind you both. My dad collected watches and knives, and there's usually been an old clock in the family. Does that clock run? The pendulum isn't moving.
So it's not currently running. Speaking of clocks that are in families, this was her grandmother's clock. Actually, I think it was her grandfather's clock. I know that sounds dumb to say, but I think that
grandfather's grandmother clock.
yeah, it's a grandmother clock. And when she passed away, they had her house sat vacant for a long time, or is still sitting vacant for a long time. And so we were able to go over there and grab a couple things recently. And so I just hung it up there. I don't know anything about that stuff. I would love for it to work, but I just don't know. I think all the pieces are there. But I don't know anything about it. And I don't know that I know anybody locally who does that stuff. Because I would love to have it to work. Like, it's neat.
Have you ever asked?
Mm-mm.
That's just a post away, probably.
I suppose, yeah.
Somebody knows somebody.
I supposed.
F. Stathio says, I think you also need a 1800s musket.
Yeah, except that I want to be able to use everything, and I don't. So I'm not saying it's a hard and fast rule, but I would really like to have things that I could use. And I don't think I would use that because they're scary.
Jose Daniel Zamora P said, I can manage to get you an obsidian Mayan knife if you're interested. Shipping could be complicated though.
Yeah. Yeah, no, an obsidian knife would be very cool. I have seen those, and I've looked at them. There are some guys in this country who have made reproductions of those. But that's pretty neat. Is he all soaked? I was just wondering if he splashed around in the water. Yeah, so we have the antique clock over here. When she gets back, she'll catch up on the questions. But we got an antique clock over here. I've got a medium format camera over here from Japan. So her grandmother was Japanese. So we have a bunch of stuff from like Japanese cameras and really neat stuff from that.
It's not like you said wheelie. Wheelie neat.
Really neat. Wheedly diddly diddly.
Did you move on to anything else?
I did not, because I could not see from here.
Nice. Dog Dr. Sim said, I think I've bought enough pens and knives, but how can you buy enough of those stringed instruments? Then he said, my last pen purchase was the Pilot E95S in rose gold and burgundy.
I know.
Writes like a dream, and it is so beautiful.
He sent me a picture, and I'm like, ugh, I want to get one of those. I bought one of those student ones that was made in Korea, but I don't have the real one. The steel nib ones, but I don't have a gold nib one. I'd really like to get one of those. Yeah, it's funny. I go in streaks. Like, I haven't bought. No, I bought a pen last week. It wasn't an expensive one though. Yours was, mine wasn't. I bought her a Conklin. That's pretty neat.
I think it's hefty.
Yeah, it is.
I actually don't. It's so funny. It's made, like, obviously made to post because it's threaded, but it's
once you
heavy.
post it, it's heavy, huh?
Yeah,
because the cap
I like
is
it
heavy.
Better not posted because it is out of balance.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah. And then I got Brianna a Retro 51 rollerball in green. And then I just got another Twisby Eco because I really like that green and black that they came out with. So that's pretty cool. But I haven't really. I've been following the Penn stuff a little bit, but not a lot because I've been doing all this other stuff. I've just been so focused on laser stuff, and I'm buying materials.
He managed to laser a nib.
Oh yeah, I did.
That's cool.
I did. So I did have one. I did have one stainless steel nib laying around, and there is a company in Atlanta who has asked me to see if I could laser their brand on nibs, and so we might get set up to do that, or we are set up to do it. I just need to take the next steps.
Miserable Turd said, "What's your opinion of Gil Hibben exotic knives?"
I've never heard of them.
You should Google it really quick and have an opinion.
Okay.
Because that's
No, I have
totally
actually.
caught up.
I think.
Oh. Maybe I'm putting you on the spot.
Hang on, let me just see.
I got a message from Zoltan today. He attended my webinar live.
Oh, he did?
Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
I mean, not weird. He's probably going to watch this. Not weird. To have that in common.
He's going to watch it in ×2 speed.
With folks here is really cool. Anyway.
Those are cool. I would not buy them because they are not my style and they are very expensive. I mean, I will buy an expensive knife, but it really has to be something that I really, 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 really want. Robert Olin.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. He is on Patreon, and he left in the chat today. So if y'all are on Patreon, go check out the chat. I think it's Robert Olin. Yeah. He bought a Damascus Spartan Harsey folder.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, sick. And he's like, this is the nicest knife.
Look at his mat.
Yeah, I know. He's got that must be a Glock one?
I don't know. Dog Dr. Tim said he needs a Dylan Talks tone nib.
I mean, I could do it now.
It's pretty funny.
It's just pretty funny.
I'm all caught up.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start branding nibs for other people. Because that's a thing.
That's a thing.
Well, because everybody uses Yovo. You know, a lot of people use those Yovo nibs, but then they want to personalize it to their brand or to, it's going to be for a retailer actually who wants to carry.
Miserable Turd said, "What's a nib?" You even have a pen?
I do. I have 5 or 6 of them.
Oh.
So this is a fountain pen.
Because I would tell him it's the end of the pen that looks like a stink bug, but
this is the this metal part of a fountain pen right there. That touches the paper. That is the nib.
Jose Daniel Zamora said, "I saw you in 2X one time to catch up, and it was unexpectedly funny. Dylan moves his hands a lot, and in 2X speed, it looks funny."
I bet it does.
I watch things in too fast speed too.
Well, and that's what started the whole conversation with Zoltan, because he's like, dude, you're a great guitar player because I listen to everything in 2x2 speed.
Yeah, and when we met him in person, he admitted like, I never listened to you like in real time.
Like, your voice sounds weird. I never listened to you in real time. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Super funny. We listen to the same podcast.
Yep.
And I listen to mine in a higher speed. And so when I hear him playing his, I'm like, what is wrong with that? It's so slow. And then voices get on my nerves because I'm like, do they really talk like that? And
so I think I listen to him in low speed because
normal speed, not low speed.
In normal speed, because I am so busy doing other things that sometimes, even if I don't pay attention for a second, I miss too much. And I'll get halfway through a podcast and go like, wait a minute, I haven't even been paying attention the whole time. And so if it was
that happens to me all the time. I just keep going.
If it was in ×2 speed, I wouldn't.
Not ×2. I do 1.25 on podcasts.
Okay.
Just to take the whininess out of those women's voices. And the dramatic. I mean, it's true crime, right? And they're just like, And then, and I don't have time for
And
that.
you're like, and
Just
then.
say it. Yeah. Anyway,
Yep. That's funny.
your voices were deeper in person. It's probably true if you listen in faster speed.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't really talk that much when
What?
I'm not. No, even when if I'm at Texas Toast or something, I'm not talking all the time. Matt's doing all the talking. I could go all day without talking.
I must not be in there when that happens because
No, because you're not in there because I don't have anybody to talk to, so I just don't talk. Unless I stub my toe or kick my tape gun or something. I healed up pretty good, actually. The horror film.
Oh, is that what I was asking about last night?
No,
It's not on.
that's a different one.
Oh.
That's on the same foot, though. No, it's not on the same foot. I kick stuff all the time. I'm really bad about near field depth perception, so.
Yeah, see, Jose says, I watch podcasts sometimes on 1.5 because people use a lot of crutches like, and let me ask you this. People don't realize. Yeah.
It's true.
Those filler things.
I try to edit a lot of that stuff out when I do videos, but sometimes I want to leave the thoughtfulness in there because I want people to know that I try to put time into this. You know, it's not just, I was thinking about it today. Like, it's funny the people in the comments who are like, actually want to learn stuff and hang out and like guitars and have fun. And then the people that are just like, I'm here to be right and prove somebody wrong. And I don't ever want to be like that. Like that's a weird balance because you got to be right. Otherwise, you just get completely roasted. So you got to be as accurate as possible. But you also don't want to be like, I'm right and you're wrong all the time. Because that's not cool. It's just a weird balance. So trying to be like, okay, I'm thoughtful enough to put this together, but I'm also not speaking a million miles an hour like a know-it-all either. I like to think about that stuff.
It's very thoughtful of you.
I try. Unless you're a jerk in the comments, then I'm just going to call you out.
All right. Well, it's 9:30 and nothing is coming in.
Cool.
And I didn't eat. And I should probably do that.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. This was really fun. Make sure you go check out burntperfect.com and buy some coasters and some beer openers and stuff.
More
and then
to come.
Next week, we're going to have flasks. We're going to have a whole bunch of other stuff, too. It's going to be awesome. See you later.